job site tool inventory management with RFID tags. Our name of our team is Dude, Where's My Nail Gun? So on our team today, my name's Neil Gordon. I'm with Mortensen Construction, and Brian.
I'm architect here in Seattle with Via Architecture.
Trung.
James Moore,
James.
developer at Digium. And I'm involved in AECH development and so
So we all met first thing Saturday morning. We didn't know each other. Got a couple of software guys, a couple of AEC guys, and we came together to try to solve our problem. And I think we came up with a pretty good solution. So when we approached our problem, at Mortensen, we really have an initiative to do lean construction or lean tools in general. So what we did is Brian and I went in the other room while they were doing the coding, which we really couldn't help with. And so to try to lay out, what it is that we're really trying to identify. What is the waste? What is the room for improvements and such? So we laid out, and you can see we had 25 different tasks on a typical 2-day kind of tool hunt and what it takes and how it all comes together. And then we went back and identified all the different types of waste and then other tasks that we could see that this tool would make improvements on. So from there, we kind of laid it out to try to give you an idea of what it is. And so in the Mortensen Seattle company, we have 10,000 tools in our yard, for example. On the project I'm currently on, there's 180 people on the job, 8 crews, 1 Connex per crew, 250 pull Connex. As you can see, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's a huge job just to try to manage all of that stuff. A lot of expensive tools, from jackhammers to sawzalls, and you can just imagine the tools it takes to build a project. So after that, we kind of identified, what is the true waste, and what can we really identify as opportunities to make it better. So lost productivity, walking around searching. You can imagine a guy gets out in the morning, he goes to put his tools together and notices his gun's missing from the night before. He didn't notice the night before, so he goes out and then now he's got to track down where's that tool. So he's walking the site trying to find it. To start with, we got list. The superintendent creates a list for the tools he needs. He sends it to the yard. The yard takes that list, compares it to their list, and marks off all their stuff. That list, now there's 2 lists, and then there's 3 lists when it comes back for the guy that's managing the tools to manage that list to confirm he got all the parts. So list upon list upon list, it just gives opportunity for lost data. And then there's the lost tool, of course, which can always be a cost of the tool and loss of production time. And then the confusion between subcontractors. If anybody's been out on a site, there's 2, 3 different, 4 different subs all working in the same area, all using the typical types of tools. They lend tools, borrow tools. So, tools just end up being missing.
And then there's the confusion of,
yeah.
oh, I thought it was mine.
Yeah, I thought it was my tool. I'm sorry, confusion. So, the one thing I got from our yard before we started is he's kind of done an evaluation of what it is that they're trying to get rid of, and that's lost tools. 10,000 a year is right now. We got a number we know is true, that we use $10,000 in tools a year. And up to this point, all the solutions they looked at cost more than $10,000 a year, so they said, we'll just pay for the lost tools and move on. And, so that's their solution. But they never really calculated in the productivity. Again, like I talked about, the guy that's looking for his tool, he doesn't have his tool, he can't do his job, he has to wait for somebody to bring his tool. That guy that's bringing his tools could be doing something else besides bringing him a tool, and so on and so forth. So by doing RFID tagging and creating a master list from our yard, and using that list and then using that to tag the stuff so we know what tools are available, we know we're getting the right tool to the right person at the right place. Again, lean, that's what our goal is, and that's what we're really shooting for. So the concept of the RFID tool tracking is the tools would be scanned in the database. It would be our yard would create a database. They got to do inventory on every 6 months anyway, so one of the times they do it, they go out, tag, scan, and create the database. It would help keep log movements from the job back to the yard, that type of stuff. It would help with daily check-in, check-out. Imagine you have a scanner on a Connex, As you take the tools out, it'd check them out. As you pull the tools back in, it'd check them in. It would
Connex is the big shipping container.
on a job site.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, with this tool and with the right kind of RFID tags, you can use the scanners to actually help find tools out on the job site. Again, instead of taking an hour or longer to try to find a tool, you might be able to use this. It's not going to find you exactly where that tool is, but it's going to narrow down that area to a point. It's going to take half the time to find that tool as it would have before. Then we'd have the mobile app for the foreman. At this point, we have one guy on our project, and his only job is tool logistics and material logistics. That's all he does all day, every day. And it's a pretty manual type of job. He has to go in and go through things, find out what's there. There's no real tool that we have that helps him be more efficient and be able to get his job done better. And then at the same time, it could report back to the yard, so the yard would know the night before that there's a missing tool or that they needed more inventory or there's a broken tool. They could better plan their guys who goes out to the sites every day and brings stuff to the site. He could better plan his day, better make sure he has the stuff he needs, and he can plan out his route so he's more efficient at the same time. Again, all of that could be savings. So we were able to get to show a basic demo, and Electron and James take over from here.
Small problem here, you have to read it backwards because of our camera.
You need the mic?
Flag if you can't hear us, but we have here the view of what's on the phone app. It is backwards because we don't have a flipping thing to make that work, and, well, you can see there are listed items. So the way that thing works is that we have in the box here a RFID reader. This is just a commodity RFID reader. It's off the shelf, came in a box. We implemented this with the API that comes with it to constantly read basically what items it can see nearby. So in the box, we got a hat. This would obviously be worn, though this one doesn't have the internal structure, so I might not wear it. We have a nail, not a nail gun, but it's the nail gun. We have another item and so forth. We've also tagged the bins, and the idea is that by having one of these either permanently allocated in a box or in a Connex, you can sort of track the proximity of items. So if this thing is receiving signals indicating that it's near the hat, so are you able to show that?
Sorry, whoops. This is the expected list, so this is the inventory here. Here is the things we're detecting, which right now is just the hat that it's next to. Oh, sorry,
that might be my pocket.
That's the hammer drill that's somewhere close to that reader.
It's in my back pocket.
Right, we're tracking our RFID tags that we've named tools. And so this is a list of the things that are missing, right? This is the delta between the things we have and the things we expect.
So the idea is that we're able to generate a constant stream of events telling us this thing was in proximity of this station with this person. And from that, you can start to develop information on who had it last, where was it seen last. So if an item is missing, you might be able to say, oh, it was last seen in the wrong box, and go pick it out of the wrong box. Or it was last seen in Bob's hands, and Bob was over there. So you can go check where Bob was. So it allows you to sort of get more information and make the process of finding things just a little bit easier.
Okay, we didn't mention the tool that we were going to lose in the demo. We had a grinder, a sawzall, you know, all sorts of regular items, and then there was the unobtainium smacker, which is very expensive. It's lost all the time, and no one knows what it looks like. So as an architect, what can I do? I can just make things look pretty, at the very least. So we also mapped out. We mapped out how, this is the proof of concept, how do you make use of this very basic information relative to a database that someone can access in their pocket. So we just really quickly mapped out how on a particular Connex box, somewhere on the site, there could be a number of these bins, and they'd all be identified, and in the morning, they'd be loaded up. So bin 1 has 10 tools, and there's actually 10 tools in there right now, because it's 3:55 p.m., I want to go home, but I have to find all the tools. Bin 2, it's missing 2 items, and everybody's looking good. Bin 6, there's 15 tools that should only have 9, so we're kind of wondering what's going on over there. So let's look at bin 2 to see what's happening. And we have Sawzall, hammer drill, all those tools, batteries, and both grinders are missing. So, dude, where's my grinder? So let's look for one of them, and we hit the grinder, and we can see that it should be in bin A2, but it was last seen. It was actually read by the system, which is networked across the site. It was read by bin A6. So as we suspected, there's something funny going on in the back corner of the job site. It's checked out 7:53 in the morning by AECH. So we know who to talk to, presumably with active RFID. These are passive tags. With active reader and more power, you might know where that bin 6 is, and you can go over there. And if you can't find Mr. Kuchar, you can at least hopefully find the grinder, get it back into place. And so we have a happy ending. So that's it.